Hello amigos. So as you can see, we have Project Jericho on the bench. Now, I haven't really gone over this a whole lot since it's built, and I went and test ran it, and so you're going to see some videos popping up soon. The thing is, I figured I should probably talk about it before we actually showed the run videos. So it started out as a 3D printed body that I did for a monster truck a while ago. And then we decided that I wasn't going to use it on a monster truck. And I went back to the monster truck. And then I decided just to hold it for a while. I really liked the body. Painted at the same time that I did Lazarus. And it looks right. So then what I ended up doing is I finally wanted to do kind of I wanted to see if I could do like a long wheelbase class 3 LCG style build. And so the Whoopacabra chassis came out, and then the U Ford chassis came out from Scale Metal Supplies. And I decided, well, you know what? I think that's a perfect platform. So what I ended up doing is I went with Element drivetrain. It's got the SE transmission in it, so it's the Stealth XF transmission. So it's a lay-down transmission. I'm running a Holmes Hobbies 3300 Trailmaster Pro. I've got the Castle Creations Copperhead in here. The servo, we're just going to go over electronics real quick. The servo is something that I'm testing out. They're at market. It's just I wanted to see how they were. But Red Cat has these Hexfly servos that they have pretty good specs for them. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say they're in the neighborhood of 400 ounce-inches of torque at 8.4, I believe. So I wanted to see how they went, and they're way budget friendly. So 4 of those is $70, and to me, you know, $15, $20 a servo is awesome. Now, does that mean they're bulletproof? Absolutely not. Driving them out on the trail, I noticed that they had good torque and good power, but this is a pretty heavy rig and it bound up sometimes. You know, it just took a little rocking and then it would move, but and they're not very quiet. They're pretty noisy. So there's that for that. So the servo I have in here right now is that Hexfly. I'm running Spec RC fat lip wheels. I'm not sure what model number these wheels are. I'll put it up so you can see on the overhead camera. And then what I ended up doing is I got the factory team. They're the Pro 4 rear or the MT10 shocks. And at first I thought these things are going to be a little too hard, a little too stiff, and it turns out they were perfect after adding all the steel to it. So let's talk about that process. I had parts that I had already blueprinted that I was going to be making this body from, and because I had that blueprinted already, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be easy. This project ended up being more of a free-form project, so I started with one line and then I just kind of went with it, and it worked out really well. I really like the cross bracing that I did back here in the back with the Stinger. I have plans still for this truck. So the plans for this truck, original plans were to have 4-steer. So 4-steer was going to be, it was already on here. I already had the front axle off of an Element Enduro SE. However, when I plugged everything in, I realized 2 front axles actually pull away from each other. And I should know that from monster trucks. We've done it before in monster trucks. So I went to go pull out the diff. When I went to go pull out the diff, the screw, the set screw, when I went to unscrew it, actually broke the tip off of my driver. So we've got a nice drive line in there. I'm probably gonna see if I can slot it and then heat it up and back it out to save it. If not, I'm gonna have to buy a new drive line. which is fine. So right now it's a solid rear axle, straight no steering, and we have plans for this, but let's talk about how it ran. So I cannot be happier with how this thing ran. This thing is a dream. Now, I don't know if it's something to do with my sensor wire or if it's something to do with my pinion mesh, but I feel like there's a little chatter in the transmission. And this is the original SE transmission, so it could be a little worn out. And I changed the ball bearings in the top hat, but I think I need to shim it a little bit because I feel like it has a little bit of a flutter to it. I think under a brushed, slow crawling thing, you probably don't notice it, but with this motor, I can hear it chatter just a little bit. It's not too bad. But I was so surprised how predictable, how stable, and how balanced this truck is. Normally we have a hard time with these cages and with the 3D printed bodies. It's basically a pretty trail truck. But I was tackling lines with this that you'll see in the video that were pretty good, pretty intense, and it seemed to just do what I wanted to. It kind of point and went. And the tires, so we're running the Proline Mickey Thompson Baja Pro X's. These tires really hooked up. It was a real muddy, kind of wet rock scenario, and it wasn't the best for what I needed, but it worked. Meaning the ground wasn't, optimal for traction, but these really hooked up. I like the wider lug in the Pacific Northwest because you hit it with a little bit of throttle and it clears out really quick. So I really, really enjoyed this truck. So I'll show some beauty shots of it later. We'll kind of walk around it and do that kind of a thing. But plans for this truck. So I've already started, and you can see here on the overhead, I've already started 3D printing buckets. So these are gonna be for the MyTrick. I'm putting a MyTrick RC full light kit in this, and it's gonna be like full light kit. So first what I had, and I printed out some light buckets for it. They're just kind of pressure set in there. We're gonna use the, I think they're 17 millimeter attack wafers. They're the rectangle lights. Those are going in there. I 3D printed side pipes for the exhaust, and we're putting the backfire exhaust on the side here. We have red rock lights, and then we have in the bumper is going to be the 19 millimeter attack. I guess it's called a strip light. And then we have rear lights up that I'm going to be putting right here. And what we're going to be doing with the rear lights is I printed off MyTrick RC's headlight bezel for the Vanquish. And so you probably can't see that on the big camera, but we'll go overhead. And so what that does is that has a little trough for the Trick Flex. They're not cathodes, but they're like a Trick Flex LED. So what I'm gonna do is it's gonna have a 5 millimeter LED in the center, and then it's gonna have the red Trick Flex going around it. And I'm going to basically just drill a hole and put it behind the plastic or behind the PLA. So all you see is a circle, and it's just gonna light up. So it should look pretty good. Wish me luck on that. I hope it gets all perfectly, balanced in center. The other thing I'm gonna do with that Trick Flex is, this is pretty neat. So I 3D printed a clasp or like a catch that goes on 3/16 tubing. And so the idea is that this is gonna be on the tubing, and I'm gonna glue it in place. And then I'm gonna glue this license plate-esque kind of thing to this clasp. And then it also has a trough going around it. I don't know if you can see that on this light. It's got a trough going around it for the MyTrick, or for the Flex on there too. So that's gonna be on the back. That'll look pretty good right here, all lit up. And it's basically gonna be tail lights for that. So that's the lighting kit. That's what's gonna be going on next. Coffee's good. Coffee is good. All right, so this build obviously sponsored by Spec RC and by Scale Metal Supplies. Both, I can't speak higher of either of those companies. Super rad. Spec RC is a really cool company, really cool proprietor. He is a awesome guy to talk to, knows what you're trying to do, really understands the project, and really understands, you know, the aesthetics of what looks good. I mean, this wheel just sits almost perfect era specific to this type of body. But I wanted to talk about some things real quick that we're going to be putting into this. So we've got the hot seats. So I'm going to be making kind of like an interior flashing, and then the hot seats will go on there. And we have a dash over here. These are called the fast dashes. And this is going to be pretty cool because this basically, I'm not going to bend it yet because I need to get the right width, and then I'm going to trim it down. But this bends and basically makes a little dashboard that you can put your, actually it'll bend like this, and then it has the radius here for your dash. And then you can put a steering wheel on it and put gauges, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be the dash. And then this is the center console that it goes back on. So that's going to be a really cool addition to that. I don't have his fuel cell here. We actually are putting one of his fuel cells right in the back. Those are really cool. I think they're called the Baja box. I don't remember what they're called, but those are really rad. One of those is going to go right in here. And then, oh, he sent out some stuff to build later eventually. So these brackets are the brackets for the VS410 series. I don't know what I'm talking about. Basically the Vanquish trucks. So these bolt onto the sides where there's that extra plastic there. And then it has holes so you can bend your skid bars or your bully bars, or I don't know what they're called either. Rocker bars, Nerf bars, whatever you want to call them. And then this is a universal side plate that you could build like a rock buggy or a moon buggy off of. So these are pretty cool. I'm excited to try this out. I haven't built a moon buggy, so it should be something cool. What else do we got going on with this? So it's going to be, first what we're going to do is lights. Then we're going to do, I'm going to start designing the interior and building the interior out slowly. So there might be a video or two on that, like on what my process is. And then when I do the lights, I'm going to put the fuel cell in. And then after that, we're going to do 4-steer. So we might do lights, 4-steer, then interior. And then this thing should be a beast. Ideally, what I'd like to get is like a RAW 500 or a 400 LP reef servo to get in here. But there's another company called Bluebird RC, and they make some pretty rad servos that I've seen. So I might talk to them. Maybe they can sponsor this build where we try 2 of their servos on here, and they are very strong servos. I've seen them in person. So that, in a nutshell, is Jericho, guys. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Things are going awesome on the channel. We are almost fully monetized. It seems like it's playing a game with me. It seems like every day it's like within an hour or two of, well, technically right now I'm 5 hours away from being monetized, and every day it kind of moves back and forth an hour. So I think it's like I need a big push on a day, and hopefully that day is today, because a video went live today about doing a light kit on the Phoenix, on the Vanquish Phoenix. So if you're looking for something to get to spend your Christmas money on, or looking for something like that, check out our merch. It's down below. That'll have all the shirts and the apron that we got, and some stickers, stuff like that. Check that out. It helps us out. We've got a race coming up, so things like that help our race program. But if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. You're going to be seeing this first of this video, then you're going to see some build videos and run videos at the same time, kind of moving on through the week. So I'm excited to get this one back out there. We've got a couple projects that I'm gonna be banging out real quick, so you're gonna see build projects of those. That's the CCX RC Extreme build. And then, I don't know what to call it, it's the base camp build. I think I might call it like Simon's Fishing Co. I don't know, but it's gonna be like it's a Jeep. So it's kind of like an off-road Baja Jeep U4 style. So stay tuned for that. What else do we got? We also got another Whoopacabra that we're gonna build, and we've got the Scale Metal Supplies Baja truck pre-runner that we're going to reverse engineer. Might be a little bit of CAD work to show on that too. So till next time, guys, stay tuned, keep welding, have fun, and we'll see you out there on the rocks.